What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Lewis. So back again for another video, man. Today we got a video uploaded by Cosmic Wonder. This one is Spider-Man 4 Insane Plot Rumors 3 Spider-Man team up against God Villain. Now, team up against a God Villain. First one I could think of is like, I don't know. What are they called? Those it's like three of them. There's like, they dress kind of old fashioned. What's they called? The Inquisitors, or their name starts with the M. It's like Mobius, not Morbius, but it's like Mobius or I don't know. I forgot where they appear. I think it's in like a show or a game. And they're like three characters, I believe. They're like older white fellows. They dress like real older, like old, like I can't remember what they're. I don't know if I said their name or if I haven't, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. They're like pretty obscure, I think, for most people. And it's like three of them or something, or it's a guy. He's able to make like multiple of themselves. There's like a family of them, and they like dress kind of oldish, like late 80s, like not 1780s, but like 1800s, something like that type of fashion. And I don't know what they're called though, but I'm familiar with them for some reason. I forgot. I think I seen them in like a show, maybe a game or so, a Spider-Man game in the past. Those are the only individuals I could think of though, unless he's talking about something completely different. Maybe he's talking about the symbiote guy or something, Clintar. The guy who's on that planet. I forgot the name of him, but maybe that's what he's talking about. I don't know. Y'all let me know down. Knull. I think his name is Knull. Anyways, I was talking a lot. Y'all probably don't have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyways, let's get to it. See what he's talking about. Before I get into it though, y'all let me know down below in the comments. How was your day? Hopefully it's pretty good, but if it wasn't, hopefully this makes it just a little bit better. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody?
I was rambling so much in the beginning.
Where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. And since Spider-Man No Way Home came out, and there have been talks about a fourth Spider-Man movie confirmed by Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige and executive producer at Sony Amy Pascal, fans have been wondering, what exactly is this next film and other films going to be about? We've had somewhat of an idea thanks to the post-credit scene for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Madam Web? Is Madam Web a god?
Symbiote, but perhaps the next Spider-Man movie, the fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, could be a lot bigger than we actually think. And perhaps Tobey and Andrew could be returning along with Tom Hardy. And I know what you're automatically thinking, all three Spider-Man versus Venom. No, that is not
versus
what we're going to be talking about in this video.
The symbiote
we will be
god?
talking about the symbiote god and
Knull,
a possible connection to Thor, Love, and Thunder. If even half of these rumors end up being true, this is going to make for one heck.
I think I know how this connects because Knull is the one. He's like, I remember learning about him a while ago. He's like he created like the symbiotes and everything. You know what I'm saying? And then the sword that, what's the guy from Thor: Love and Thunder, the bad guy Christian Bale is playing? I forgot his name. It's like Gore the god. Yeah, him. That character. Gore. His sword, the Necroman, whatever it's called, is basically forged from Knull, or Nor forged it. And it like has this like infused with like symbiotes or something like that.
Of a Spider-Man movie. And honestly, if they did this story right,
it's been a while since I, you know what I'm saying, learned this information, but I think that's what he's about to talk about.
Video. And of course, if you're new, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest news. So I actually had this idea for some time now, ever since they announced that Gore the God Butcher was going to be the main villain of Thor: Love and Thunder. Combining this with something that we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy, this would actually line up and make sense for a perfect plot for Spider-Man 4. So since Spider-Man No Way Home came out, rumors have been going around that Tobey and Andrew aren't done as Spider-Man. Their respective Spider-Mans. There's news that Andrew could possibly get the Amazing Spider-Man 3. There's news that Tobey Maguire might show up in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. There's a lot of stuff going around. And I hope it's all true. I hope they return. But I hope they return for this movie with Tom Holland. I hope we get another Spider-Man team up again. And rumors going around right now say that that's what's going to happen. Except they're not just going to be in the very end of this film. They're going to be with Tom Holland Spider-Man from the very beginning. The reason why is because of that post-credit scene where Tom Hardy's Venom is in the MCU, but then he gets taken back to his own universe, the Sony universe of Marvel characters. But a little piece of that symbiote stayed behind. This is where the problems start.
Hey, y'all let me know down below in the comments. Are you going to go check out Uncharted when it comes out? I definitely will.
And it looks like this is where Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is going
I want
to
to fight
be
an
getting
alien.
his wish, where he said, I want to fight an alien.
Yeah.
Rumor has it that the three of them are not just going to go up against one symbiote, but a whole army of symbiotes and Knull.
Yes, yeah, okay. I was
God
worried because on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, the second you spew out some wrong information, like everyone in the comments is coming for you, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to know I was right. It's Knull, yeah.
Darkness. Now, hear me out for just a second, because I'm going to connect this to Thor: Love and Thunder and Guardians
yeah, see,
of the
I know
Galaxy.
where he's about to go
And
with
the
this
comic
one,
book
too.
readers, I bet, already know where I'm going with
Yes.
this. So Knull originally was just chilling in the darkness in a place called the Abyss. It's a place that existed between the destruction of the sixth cosmos and the creation of the seventh cosmos.
Right.
Then, one day, he was awakened by the light of creation when the Celestials began to create the universe, which is now the MCU, we would assume. And Knull, the god of darkness, didn't exactly like that. Knull was pretty pissed off, so what he decided to do was retaliate, and he created a sword of living darkness called the All Black. And what did he do? He went out and decapitated one of the Celestials. He cut the head clean off one of them. And where have we seen this before? We have seen this in Guardians of the Galaxy. Nowhere. Nowhere is a city that is literally built inside of the head of a decapitated Celestial. So how did the Celestial get its head decapitated in the MCU? It could have possibly been Knull, especially if you consider the events that are about to take place in Thor: Love and Thunder. Stick with me here. Knull was cast back into the void of darkness, but the head of the Celestial was still with him. So he used the head to infuse cosmic energy from the Celestial's head inside of the sword, making it even more powerful. Now, Knull, still very pissed off and still seeking revenge on the divine light that had brought down his kingdom, created a symbiote suit of armor. He created this from the eldritch darkness that he commanded, and then he set out on a genocidal campaign against the other gods and life itself. And from here, he became a terribly feared, legendary figure for billions of years. Now, at some point in time down the line, Knull engaged an army of gold-armored gods that had the power of the light, and he killed all of them but one. Now, Knull pursued this remaining survivor and managed to stab him, but he was also stabbed by the god's spear in the head, and they both fell down to a desolate planet. Now, one of the inhabitants of the planet saw the gods falling to the ground, and being impaled by the spear of the god, the all-black sword left Knull and went to this inhabitant of the planet, who is
Gorr.
Who goes on to be known as Gorr, the God Butcher, who is going to be played by Christian Bale in Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, Gorr goes on to be called the God Butcher because he uses the all-black sword to kill gods. And since they have announced that he is playing Gorr the God Butcher, I'm assuming that he's gone around and killed some gods, presumably with the all-black sword. So we already have two major connections to Knull, the god of darkness and creator of symbiotes in the MCU here. Now, Knull's story isn't done. He doesn't die there. He actually goes on, and he kind of just forgets about the thief who stole his sword. He decides not to seek revenge. Now, eventually he realizes that he can create symbiotes out of darkness, and he uses them to attach to lesser life forms rather than eradicating them. And he creates these huge dragon symbiotes, but his reign comes to an end when he goes to Earth and he fights Thor. Thor defeats them by blasting them with divine light, and the symbiotes kind of shatter and fall apart, and they end up attaching to good people. And from here on out, the symbiotes actually kind of become good, and they actually attack Knull, and they lock him away in the heart of their planet, which is called Clintar. And from there on out, they actually seek to be good and protect the cosmos and form a team called Agents of the Cosmos. Now, I'm thinking something like this could happen, except instead of Thor fighting these two dragons, it could actually be our three Spider-Men fighting Knull and an army of symbiotes.
I don't know if they're up for that battle, man. I'm sorry, but Peter Parker, Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? They're tough. They you know what I'm saying? They got some wit about them, but they're not Thor level. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. They can figure it out, surely.
Now, among these symbiotes could be Venom and could be Carnage somehow. Not the Carnage that we just saw in Venom Let There Be Carnage, but an MCU Carnage. And clearly the symbiote that is left over from Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and Venom being in the MCU is going to be different as well. So the Venom and Carnage that they would fight wouldn't be the ones we've already seen. But in Spider-Man No Way Home, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man said that he fought an alien. It was black and it was gooey and sticky. And it looks like Tom Holland's Spider-Man is about to run into the same thing thing in which he will probably seek the help of Tobey Maguire. Now, of course, I acknowledge that nobody remembers him, including Doctor Strange, but we have no idea what is about to happen in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Anything could be possible.
Maybe he undoes the spell,
and things could be made right. I'm assuming eventually everybody will know who Peter Parker is again at some point, in which Peter can ask Doctor Strange for the help of Tobey Maguire's Peter, since that Spider-Man has fought the symbiote before, since that's what he mentioned. And why not bring in good old Andrew, since he always wanted to fight an alien, and they could use the help.
Give him the opportunity.
Here, I do think that from a story point, this would be a really awesome story, seeing the three Spider-Men work together to fight against a symbiote army. That's a very Spider-Man type of feel. This could start the actual real Venom in the MCU by the new Venom symbiote bonding to Peter Parker at first, only for Peter to reject it, and that could eventually lead to a Carnage storyline down the road as well. And I do kind of hope that if this all happens, they actually bring Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and Venom in the MCU
that's what I'm saying.
them. After all, he was already in it before for
Tom Hardy's a great Venom.
Let's say it 5 hours or something like that. Why not bring him back? But let me know what you think about this in the comments down below.
Tom
Is
Hardy.
this a story that you would like to see for Spider-Man 4, or would you like to see it go in a different direction? Let me know, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe. And for live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching.
Woof, woof. Only thing with that is, that's a huge one. If we're going exactly like that verbatim, that's that's a huge story for one. Two, it's a lot of like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like people would be so quick to be like, oh, they're just trying to do what they did with No Way Home, with bringing in the old Spider-Man again, which of course I think they're going to do surely, but to do it like right afterwards, like Spider-Man, unless then again, Spider-Man 4 might not come out till years out, although generally Sony usually release Spider-Man films every 2 years or so, and I know Marvel as of now has like a couple films that's like unnamed in their slate, so those films could be Spider-Man, but usually they release Spider-Man films every 2 years, right? You know what I'm saying? So I would think it would come out relatively soon, if not 2, maybe it would come out within like 2 to 3 max, maybe years, maybe 4 max, you know what I'm saying? But mainly 2. So to do it right then, like after we just had, you know, No Way Home, and then 2 years pass and we have another Spider-Man film and it's exactly the same, like team up type thing, I don't know if people will really be like, I feel like people will find a reason to critique and say, oh, they're just trying to copy No Way Home. Now, if I feel like if they saved it for, I don't know, Spider-Man 5, 6 maybe, then it's like, okay, he's had like a little story here, another little story here, side things and unrelated to other Spider-Man, and then it's big team up type thing again, you know, it's the third set of the, it's not a trilogy anymore, unless it's a new trilogy, just say it's called a new trilogy, and then he has another team up and it's like fighting Knull and that kind of stuff. Then I think that would be like, the audience would be, critics and audience would be more receptive to it in a sense, and they won't constantly think like, oh, just constant repetition, you know what I'm saying? That's like the only thing with Spider-Man. It's like sometimes I think people feel like Spider-Man kind of repeats, given that we're getting so many Spider-Man tailored like characters and movies coming out and stuff like that. I just don't want it to feel like it's oversaturated. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the audience to feel like he's oversaturated. Anyways, I really liked how he tied this into the whole Gore thing, Gore the God Butcher and Knull. You know what I'm saying? Because I think this is actually pretty feasible if MCU were to actually go with this whole storyline about the Nowhere being the decapitated head, of which Knull, you know, he decapitated that Celestial, and then Gore found the I want to know why I keep wanting to call it Necromancer, but the all black, the sword. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a good story. I think that's decent. You know what I'm saying? I could buy that. Anyways, talking a lot. Y'all let me know down below in the comments what are your thoughts, opinions, and ideas. Thank you, Cosmic Wonder, for allowing me to check this out. Shout out to him. Make sure you go to his channel, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Come back over here, do the same thing. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at LeroySaid. So same as the YouTube channel. With that being said, peace.